Hello and welcome to Low Budget Gaming and welcome to the GOG Black Friday sale. So I've been covering the Steam sale, but as you know, GOG and Epic and Humble and all these places have their sales as well, running for around the same time. So GOG has a bunch of deals, and if you're new, GOG is a sister company of CD Projekt Red. Their main selling point is their games are DRM free, so you don't need a launcher. You can download the game installers directly and play them offline. So this is a great place to buy games if you don't want the hassle of DRM and online launchers and things like that. Download the game directly, play them. They also make sure to preserve older games, and they also try to update the games to run better on modern systems. So anything older, I tend to prefer GOG. Newer stuff you can go for Steam, but with the Steam regional prices increasing, I've started buying new games on GOG as well. So with that being said, I have a bunch of games here, some new and then some old ones. Before I go into that, they are also giving away a free game. Styx Shards of Darkness is from 2017 or something. It's like an old stealth-based game. You are a goblin in like a medieval city. We still have about 24 hours to go on this one. I did mention this one, but if you haven't seen it, just go to the main page, log in, and click on Add to Library. All right, let's look at games, starting with some new ones. We start with Horizon Zero Dawn Complete Edition on 75% off, $12.49. So you can see previous lowest was $16.49. So this is the first time it has dropped to this price. Again, like I said, DRM free, so you don't need a launcher. Just play it offline directly. And of course, this is a big open world single player game, so that makes sense. And it's good to see big publishers like Sony, PlayStation bringing their games over to GOG. So it helps with the preservation as well. Now, next we have A Plague Tale Requiem, another popular series, similar in some ways you could say, but yeah, a story-driven game. This is also on a new low, 55% off for the first time. Previously, it was as low as $24.99. Next, we have Greedfall Gold Edition, so a RPG. Again, I've mentioned this on Steam, but it is available here for $10. This is a fantastic RPG. Days Gone, so another Sony game. This is 67% off. You could get this now. It's a good game with a lot of content, again DRM free of course, or you could wait until this drops to 75 as well, I guess. So yeah, they have started adding support for a lot of bigger games here. And continuing with the Sony games, we also have Uncharted Legacy of Thieves collection. So this is 30% off. This includes Uncharted 4 and the standalone game called, what was it called? The Lost Legacy. Next, we move on to a small indie post-apocalyptic RPG similar to something like the early Fallout games. This is Atom RPG version 1.1, 55% off, only $674. Now, this is in the old isometric perspective like the first two Fallout games, and I've seen good reviews generally for this one. You can see it has a very similar feel to the old Fallout games. Next is Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice, another one of my favorite games, another game I've mentioned previously on Steam as well. Again, DRM free for under $5. I think this is a collector's type of game. Like, I would consider this game to be a nice collectible for anyone who likes games. Disco Elysium, another fantastic RPG, 75% off for the standard version. And there should be so there's a bundle here with soundtrack and other things, but standard version is enough. It's the final cut, so updated and improved version. $10 is excellent price. It hasn't gone below 10 anyway. Next is Deep Sky Derelicts Definitive Edition. So this is a fun rogue light game similar to something like Darkest Dungeon. So you are a bunch of scavengers who go into derelict spaceships and scavenge for resources. The combat is turn-based, sort of like Darkest Dungeon, but with the card mechanic. So you have your abilities popping up and you have to use that and defeat the creatures. You also have limited oxygen and things like that, so you have to go search for stuff and get out with whatever you find. So really fun game. I actually made a start on this game last year before the move, and because of the move I kind of stopped playing, but yeah, it was actually fun. Next is Industria. So this is a FPS inspired by the old Half-Life style of games. This is more of a labor of love, a short experience, about say 4 hours or so. And I got a key from this, streamed it, and really ended up enjoying it. I finished it in one stream, and it was a really nice game. There's a sequel coming out as well for this one, but this one is 60% off, $7.99. It's got a bit of a mysterious setting. It's set in 1989, right at the fall of the Berlin Wall, and there are some elements of that with, dimensional travel and things like that. Next, we have Sniper Ghost Warrior Contracts. So I mentioned the second game on Steam. This is the first Contracts game, and so this is your sniping style of game. If you've played Sniper Elite, this is another series, not connected but similar. You are a sniper and you have missions to do and take out targets and things like that. So 80% off, $5.99. Thronebreaker, The Witcher Tales. So this is another game in the Witcher series, not connected to the main games. This is a Gwent based game. So Gwent was the card game from Witcher, and this tells the story of Queen Neve or something, I don't know. She's the queen of Lyria and Rivia, and you go and complete missions and do the Gwent based games. Geralt is also there, but it's about her. Assassin's Creed Director's Cut. So the first Assassin's Creed game. With this sort of game, the benefit here is, of course, it's an older game, it'll run better. You don't need to connect to the Ubisoft launcher or anything. You can just download and play directly. So yeah, it's a classic now, the old Assassin's Creed game, and this is also a new low. Previously it was $5.99, now it is $4.99. And you can't get more classic than the first Diablo game. So Diablo plus Hellfire, this is like a mod or something, is included, 20% off, $7.99. It never seems to go below this. And also this first Diablo is only available here on GOG. You can't find it on battle.net either. So, and also I believe there is a separate HD mod that you can use to improve it. So if you want to see where this whole thing started and how the original was, you can buy it here. SWORD Force, another game I like to mention every now and then. So this is a game from the mid 2000s. So graphically it'll be decent. You are a SWAT team as a tactical style of FPS, and you have different levels and missions and different ways to deal with. Like for example, there might be a hostage situation or something like that. So $5, 50% off. It's the usual price. Also not available on Steam, this one. Return to Castle Wolfenstein. So another classic from the early 2000s, I think 2002 here. So yeah, you had the original Castle Wolfenstein from the early 90s, and then this was like the second, you could say, run of it in the 2000s. And then of course we got the newest reboot in the 2010s, I guess. So this is only $2. And of course from the same period we have Hitman 2 Silent Assassin. This is one of my favorite games, so that's why I'm mentioning it here. This is the first Hitman game I played as well. Really good game, $179. And of course we also have Hitman Blood Money. So there are 4 games, but I consider these 2 to be the better ones. There's also Hitman Contracts, which was also decent, but Blood Money and Silent Assassin were the favorites. We also have Sniper Elite Berlin 1945. So Sniper Elite is a very successful series. We are up to 5 now. This is the first one, came out in mid 2000s, 2005 I think. Yes, so this is where it all started. And yeah, you are like a lone sniper in Germany just after the Second World War, and you have to take out targets from the Russian resistance and things like that. So 80% off, $2 only. And then we have Railroad Tycoon 3. So your classic railroad management game. I have put in a lot of hours in this one back in the day, and yeah, really good game. These days we have similar games, but this is the classic from the late 90s, I think. No, that was the other. This is from 2003. So it's a fairly recent game. I think this was from late 90s. I can't remember now. Maybe I'm thinking of Railroad Tycoon 2 maybe. So yeah, that's a quick look at a bunch of deals on GOG. All the links are in the description. I'm also affiliated with GOG. So these are my affiliate links. I'll get a small cut if you pick up something. So yeah, so like I said, main reason to get games here is game preservation, DRM-free nature, so no need for a launcher, and it's good for single player games. And with Steam regional pricing going up, if there isn't much of a difference, I tend to go with GOG. Anyway, thank you for watching. See you next time.